What's going on, everybody? This is Justin Bowling back with you yet again, here to do another video. And this video is going to go on YouTube and my Facebook page as well that I have that I created called Fans of Castlevania. And so, what is this video per se? It's my Castlevania collection, 2016 edition. There's a lot of games right here on my bed here. Let me see how many I've got here. I lost track, but I guess like over 20 or something. Anyway, we're going to start things off. And before I get to the video, I will also say this. You know I have Rondo of Blood on the Wii, on my normal Nintendo Wii. And I also have Castlevania 3 on my Wii as well. But I also have the Game Boy Advance Castlevania Circle of the Moon on my Wii U's Nintendo eShop. But I'm not going to show those. All I'm going to show is what all the physical copies I have. I'm going to start things off with the NES. And to start off, I have the original Castlevania for the NES. Hard game. I was actually playing this yesterday and seeing a game over on level 3 or something. Next up is a game that I did review. I did put some videos up of the first game as well. And I did one video of this. I posted one video of this next game here, and that is Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest, which I know is not really the best game of the franchise, but I suppose it's okay. I mean, you know. Anyway, I do have the box for this next one, but I'm not going to show it. I'm just going to show the cartridge only, and that is Castlevania 4 or Super Castlevania 4. Which I've played on YouTube before. And this next Castlevania game I have is probably the one I do the best job at, and that is Castlevania Dracula X. Which I have some videos of this up on YouTube as well. Those were the two Super Nintendos. And now we're going on to the Game Boy. To start things off on the Game Boy, I have the Castlevania Adventure. Next up, Castlevania 2 Belmont's Revenge. And then the last one on the Game Boy is Castlevania Legends. Alright, now for the one Sega Genesis game, and this is the only Castlevania game to be released on the Sega Genesis, and that is Castlevania Bloodlines. Which is pretty good, I guess. Now we're going to go over to the PlayStation, and for the PlayStation to start off with, I have what a lot of people would probably say is the best Castlevania game there ever was: Symphony of the Night. It's basically like Metroid with like Super Metroid with RPG elements involved, and kind of a platforming game too, I guess. And the next one is a game that's a remake of the Sharp X68000 Castlevania game, and that is Castlevania Chronicles. And the Sharp X68000 version, I think, was a remake too of the first Castlevania. Alright, now for the Nintendo 64. next, to start off with that, and these two games are probably maybe considered the worst Castlevania games there ever was. Starting off with Castlevania for the N64. I think I can see why this game does not have a good rep. But anyway, now for the next one. Next one is Legacy of Darkness. Alright. Now for the two on the PlayStation 2. First off, Castlevania Lament of Innocence. I think chronologically this is the first game. Chronologically, of course. Because this one stars Leon Belmont, who I think is the first one to notice the vampire killer, to use the vampire killer. And up next, Castlevania Curse of Darkness. Some people might think that this is the sequel to Castlevania 3 on the NES. And Castlevania 3, let me tell you, is hard. Even with the Help Me code, it's still hard. But anyway, now we're going over to the DS games. Starting off with Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow, which you can play as Soma Cruz, just like you could in Aria of Sorrow. I don't think I've ever played that game though, but I think I've seen it on YouTube. Next, Castlevania Portrait of Ruin. I've not beaten any of these DS games. The only Metroidvania game I've beaten was Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which I showed earlier. So, up next is the final one for the DS, and that is Order of Ecclesia or Ecclesia. It's I guess it's kind of hard to pronounce that name, but and now we're going to go over to the PSP. This is the only Castlevania game I have on the PSP, and I think this is also the only one that was ever released for the PSP. And that is the Dracula X Chronicles, which is a remake of Rondo of Blood, which the original Rondo of Blood is on this game as well. And of course, you also have a remastered version of Symphony of the Night, with like the same game, but the voice acting is different. Alright, now we're going to go over to the Xbox 360. Start off with Castlevania Lords of Shadow. Which I've not beaten on this one or the PS3. Up next is Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2. This one I did beat. And up next, I'm going to show the two PS3s, which are the same thing, by the way. Lords of Shadow. But this version of Lords of Shadow is only one disc. The Xbox 360 version is 2 discs. And of course, here's Lords of Shadow 2 on the PS3. And to conclude this Castlevania collection, I'm going to be showcasing my 3DS Castlevania game. I think this is the only Castlevania game released for the 3DS. It is Lords of Shadow, Mirror of Fate. Alrighty, that'll do it for this collection video. See y'all for the next one.